It's been about 6 weeks since I had a scleral buckle surgery to repair a detached retina. Sometime back in August, I noticed my vision was starting to get blurry in my left eye, and my field of vision was disappearing, and I was having flashes of light at night, and I didn't know what the issue was, and I didn't realize this was a medical emergency. Otherwise, I would have gone in much sooner to get it treated. Turns out my retina was detaching. It wasn't fully detached, thank goodness. And the cause was myopia. I'm so nearsighted that it pulls on the retina more. So I just want to share with you what it's like to go through a procedure to have the retina reattached with the scleral buckle procedure and the recovery time, just for anyone who might have to go through the same thing. For starters, if you're having bright flashes of light, more floaters than usual, or you notice that your peripheral vision is getting cloudy or fuzzy like there's a curtain over it, do not ignore these signs and go to the eye doctor immediately because it could be a detached retina. I wish I had gone in sooner, but I honestly didn't know that this was a medical emergency. So once it was confirmed that I did in fact have a detached retina and needed surgery, an appointment was scheduled immediately, and I didn't know what I was in for. The surgery went well. I was nervous right beforehand, but they gave me some medicine so that the anesthesia wouldn't make me sick, and then I had to wait 24 hours to take off this eye patch. And quick disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. This is just my personal experience with my own detached retina for anyone who might go through the same ordeal. I could barely eat because the pain medication made me sick, and I only needed it on the first day. There wasn't a whole lot of pain. And I think I slept a solid 12 hours because of the anesthesia. And then the next day we had the follow-up appointment. And I was horrified at the state of my eye. I did not realize a scleral buckle was so involved and so invasive. And my eye was so swollen, I could barely open it, and the vision was super fuzzy. And this was what it looked like the first day. But the doctor said everything looked good and normal, and that I had to wear the eye patch anytime I went to sleep for about a week. And I tried to be very careful not to touch the eye. Here I had thoroughly washed my hands. I was just trying to get a look at what was happening under there, and it was really gory. Like, that first week of recovery was actually really miserable. So what is a scleral buckle? I'll break it down for you. It's basically a silicone band that is stitched into the sclera, or the white part of my eye, and it then squeezes the eye so that it pushes the retina back into place where it will heal and reattach. I'm sure it could be explained better by a medical professional, but I didn't know exactly what I was in for when I had the surgery because I felt better going in blind, no pun intended. So I decided to document the healing process because it took over a month for my eye to start looking normal, and that's how these things go for anyone that ever goes through it. As you can see, my eye is still very red and swollen, but I'm able to open it a lot more easily. I can see out of it, and I have my peripheral vision. I can see my fingertips, which is exciting because before, anything to the right of my nose I couldn't see. As you can see, there's a lot of bruising. I wasn't able to open my eye earlier, and then I very carefully, after thoroughly sanitizing my hands, cleaned off my eyelashes because it was scabbed over. My eye's very weepy. I have to blot it all the time. I'm very careful not to rub it. I'm following all of the doctor's instructions. But I think it's healing nicely, and I haven't seen any red flags or any cause for concern yet. But it is an unsettling thing to see, and it is very unsightly. But I think it's coming along. Fingers crossed it continues to heal nicely, but it'll probably be a while before I can drive. The more it healed, the worse it looked because all this bruising started to appear from the speculum. And this is a pile of tissue paper because at night it would just weep all the time and I would have to blot it and then put the eye patch back on. So I didn't get hardly any sleep that first week. It's day 4 since my scleral buckle. I'm not in pain, but I am a little anxious about just how swollen everything is and how bruised it is. But I was told this is all normal. I hope it's all normal. I need to stop pulling my eye open and looking at it, but it's wigging me out. It's making me incredibly uncomfortable. So, but I have no new pain. My vision is improving. It's still blurry, but I have peripheral vision. I looked up the symptoms of like if it's not healing normally, and it said things like a discharge, which there is none, new pain, which there is none, the pain has subsided, bulging, which I don't know if this is normal swelling or if this is considered bulging. I think it's normal, but it sure is troubling. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my gosh. So, fingers crossed it continues to heal nicely. I'm gonna take another pain med and put a cold pack gently and see if that helps with the swelling. There wasn't a lot of pain, but it was sore and irritating me, and the cold pack definitely helped. And that's what it looked like on the inside. It was really gnarly for a very long time. How does that look? Does that look normal to you? Anyways, I always wash my hands before I touch it, of course. I'm not like digging in there or anything like that. I was told I should only be worried if there's severe pain, and there's virtually no pain, believe it or not. It's just uncomfortable. I feel like I can feel the buckle in my eye, and I can see out of it, but everything is still blurry and it's driving me nuts. I just want to be able to see normally and have both eyes open so bad. So wish me luck. I promise I always washed my hands thoroughly. I know in the videos I'm like poking and prodding at it a lot and I couldn't leave it alone. And part of it was because it was irritating so much, and part of it was because I could feel the scleral buckle and I could feel the stitches as the numbing agent started to wear off. I could feel the stitches poking me in the eye, and it was just making me bonkers. But I did a very good job of keeping it clean. I never touched it or rubbed it, and I couldn't. I kept looking at it, so don't be alarmed when you see me poking and prodding at it in the videos. I promise I followed all the doctor's instructions, but I did not expect it to be this bruised and look as bad as it did after a week of healing. But I believe that's from the speculum. It's been about 9 days since my surgery. The eye is still healing, but there is this scratchy sensation where it feels like there is something in my eye. It feels like there's like a hair or something stuck in my eye, and there's nothing there. And I have to resist the urge to constantly lift up my eyelid and look and mess with it, because that's the last thing I need to be doing with an eyeball that's healing. But it's an incredibly obnoxious sensation, and I was told that that's normal, that it's probably the stitches that I'm feeling, and those are going to dissolve by about the end of week 2. So here's hoping, because it's driving me insane. I felt best when it was covered but open, so I bought this nifty eye patch and wore it out, and it was nice to get out and socialize again with some friends and not worry about smoke or wind or anything getting into my eye. So all the pirate jokes were very uplifting. It's been about 12 days now since I had my scleral buckle. My eye looks much better. It's still swollen on the inside, as you can see. The only trouble that I'm having is I can feel the stitches and they're driving me crazy. But whenever I put the ointment on, I kind of just gently brush it across the crease of my eyelid, and I can feel it in my eye. It's very soothing. And my vision is still blurry, and I don't know if that's because my eye is still slightly dilated or if it's just still adjusting or what, but it's still a little bit blurry, which is disorienting, but it's definitely looking better. After about 3 weeks of healing, I started to feel a little bit better. The vision was still blurry, but the bruising had gone way down and the swelling in my eye had gone way down, but it was still very difficult to see because the scleral buckle squeezing the eyeball actually makes it even more nearsighted. So then my right eye and my left eye didn't match. So after 3 weeks, I went in for the follow-up, and they dilated my eye, so I got to look real weird with one dilated pupil, and that was pretty fun. And they said everything looked good and that everything was healing normally, and that was such a boost for me and made me feel much better. It's been 1 month since my scleral buckle surgery. As you can see, the eye is healing very nicely. I had the checkup with the doctor. He said everything looked good, and that's very encouraging. But I can't get my glasses updated for like another 2 weeks. The eye, I guess, has to be fully healed before I can do that. So I'll probably schedule the appointment sometime next week, but it feels a lot better. It's still kind of sensitive. It gets dry pretty easily. It's still healing on the inside, as you can see, but it feels a lot better, and I'm glad I got good news from the doctor. After about 5 weeks, I was finally able to update my glasses. I got a new pair, and that was nice because when my eyes don't match, it was very disorienting. So I'm not happy about having to wear glasses again, but you know what? It's better than not having peripheral vision. It's been 7 weeks since my eye surgery. It's still healing. You can still tell. But only when I like really show it. It's bothering me a lot less. I'm wearing contacts at the moment, but they definitely irritate my eye. And the eye doctor said that I had a slight astigmatism before and that it's more pronounced now after the surgery. And I don't know why, but that's okay. So then I went in for my 6-week follow-up, and this time they dilated both my eyes in order to compare them. And he said everything looks good and I won't have to come back in again for 3 months and then again in 6 months. And I'm unfortunately going to have to keep an eye on my right eye because this happened because I'm so nearsighted. The same thing could happen in the other eye. So keep your fingers crossed that that doesn't happen, and if you're going through the same thing, hang in there. It's rough and scary, but you're not alone. So best of luck to you all, and I hope you found this helpful and educational.